So have you had that moment before in your life where you get home and you don't have any plan what you're gonna cook, and you go and you open your fridge and you just got like a bit of this and a bit of that and some vegetables lying around? Stir fries are a great way to take care of that problem when you want a quick, fast meal that uses up a bunch of stuff in your fridge, your pantry. And Pancit Canton Guisado is one of my favorite recipes for this reason, in that you can throw in different things. There's no real hot and fast rules, but most of the time, you know, you have carrots and cabbage on hand in the fridge, right? Obviously, you need a little bit of pork for this one, but you should probably have that in your freezer. You can always use pork mince as well if you don't have any regular pork on hand. This is a popular recipe with me for that reason. We're gonna cook it probably a more traditional way today, where we use all the fresh ingredients and the complete range that you can use. But if you are making this in a pinch at home, you could actually just use instant noodles for this one, right? A couple of packs of instant noodles. You can take a few shortcuts here and knock it out in 10 minutes. I'm gonna try and knock it out in maybe 15 or 20, doing it all from scratch. So here's my recipe for Pancit Canton Guisado. Let's see how fast we can knock this one out, because it's a really great fast one to do if you get home from work and you got no plan to cook. So I'll get the garlic into the pan. My heat's already on. And I'm cooking with a wok today. Obviously you can use any pan to do a stir fry at home, but you know, being in a proper kitchen, I'm able to cook in a big wok, which I don't always get to do at home myself. They're cooking really fast because my oil's already hot, so that's not going to take long at all. I'll throw in some celery next. Celery, you know, just finely chopped, but this is an amazing source of flavor in soups, in stir fries. Always pays to add a little bit, even if you don't particularly like celery. Just a little bit in the base really adds flavor to whatever you're doing. Then I've got my pork here. So as I said, you can, you know, if you have to, you can always use like pork mince or something, but you know, I prefer with this dish to use little pork strips. Okay, so I'm gonna add my pork meat in now and then make gisa. Sorry. I just said the words make gisa. If you want to see me give a tutorial on how to speak Konyo, we'll put a link to that episode where I actually give a tutorial on how to act and sound like a Konyo. For the record, I'm not trying to be a Konyo when I said make gisa, but I have probably picked that up from somebody on my team. Filipino-speaking viewers, to make something is a really like poor way of using your grammar in Taglish. And gisa, of course, means to sort of mix in a pan or to saute. So in Tagalog, we would say, gigisa na tayo ang ating pancit guisado. The pork's now brown. I'm gonna go in with the Chinese sausage next. So ito yung parang ating na, you know, this is a processed sausage, so it's already been cured. And in that sense, it doesn't need a long cooking time. You can eat it as it is, but we're just gonna give that a minute or two, just till it starts to sweat and the saturated fats in that sausage is starting to release a little bit or liquefy a little bit. Okay, now what have I got going over here is a pot of hot boiling water. So this is actually to cook my noodles. Now, you wanna just cook your noodles in a bit of chicken stock, just so they have a bit of chicken flavor on them when you transfer them over. I wouldn't go to the trouble, again, this is meant to be a fast dish, of preparing a chicken stock from scratch. So I think you guys know my philosophy on using stock cubes if you're gonna do it. It's not that hard to find a real chicken stock that doesn't contain chemicals and has real chicken in it, real vegetables in it, dehydrated vegetables. So that's what I'm using here. They are hard to find in Manila, so if you have families, US or Australia, just ask them to find that for you and send it over to the Philippines, because it is a bit hard to find them in the Philippines, the organic stocks. But fortunately, I was able to send some up, so that's what I use now. And again, it's just a time saver for a dish like this, especially if you're using instant noodles. And that stock is now boiling, so I'm just going to cook my egg noodles in that. They've been softening in water because I'm using a dried egg noodle, but again, if you want to use just your instant noodles, you just drop those dried cakes in and just give it 2-3 minutes in the boiling water. Probably about 300 grams of noodles will be sufficient. Okay, so next we'll add the rest of our vegetables to the stir fry, just in order of their cooking time. So meron akong dito ng mga carrot. About half a cup of carrot that's been cut julienne. Next we have some beans. You can use whatever beans you have. We're using Baguio beans today, but you know, snake beans, sitaw, yeah, any type of bean, it will be fine for this, whatever you have on hand. And with stir fry, it's all about keeping your ingredients moving, adding things according to their cooking time. And once you add the vegetables, you just really want to avoid overcooking your veggies. So we're not going to give these too long. The carrot gets about 30 seconds, head start, and then, you know, the beans go in. They'll only need a minute or two, especially if you've got a hot wok like I'm using today. And then I'm going to go in with my cabbage. And then I've got about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I've got 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, Season it with some salt and pepper. And I actually have just cut the heat to that, so I've only given the cabbage about 30-45 seconds in there. There's still a bit of latent heat there. It's going to keep that cooking, so you just want to get that heat off the pan quickly. So our egg noodles are now cooked. Just going to strain out egg noodles quickly. Dito sa isang sink. And I put them straight in the pan. It's okay if you get just a little bit of the chicken stock that's hanging onto them. Don't strain it too much. That'll just add a little bit of that chicken flavor in. But I'm going to haluin ko ang ating pancit guisado. Okay, and then that's how it looks. You just got a lovely mixture of colors and flavors there. Brown cooked pork, the hints of the Chinese sausage, just add a nice hit of purple or red to the dish. You've got your carrots, your beans, the green, the orange. And that's one that you could cook at home in literally 10-15 minutes. Beautiful dish. I am going to have a little cheeky taste now while it's still here and hot in the pan. Okay, so I plated this up. I'm actually serving it in a fry pan because I think it looks a bit cool. It's like a workbench style thing. But of course, if you are cooking at home for one, why get a plate? Just you can use the same fry pan that you cooked it in fact. But I'm just gonna have a little taste of this. Now, the dish itself is basically on the salty, savory side of the flavor profiles, right? Because there's the fish sauce, the toyo is in there, and the pork and chicken stock, right? So they're all salty, savory things. But of course, Filipino food is all about balance. So this is a dish that Filipinos will normally add a little bit more flavor just right before eating through the addition of some fish sauce. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of fish sauce on there. That's gonna add just a little bit more salt to it. But more importantly is the calamansi, which is just gonna offset a lot of that saltiness. Just gonna put a few drops on there with a little bit of citrus and sour. So it takes a dish that arguably is a convenient, quick, tasty, but not the most interesting on its own, but you just add a few drops like that and it really takes it to the next level as a dish. Adds to the complexity. And it's almost like you're having, you get like that toyo mansi flavor there because it's bouncing off the soy sauce. And I think that lime with pork, it also reminds you a bit of, Philippine pork chop, which is typically marinated in calamansi. So it suddenly, screams of a few other Filipino dishes that are out there. Challenge yourself how fast you can cook it at home. I think I did this in about 15 minutes here on the show from scratch. You can probably do it in 10 with instant noodles. And delicious way to get your quick dinner fix, especially if you had a long day or after a workout or something like that. So remember, leave a comment below. We're taking Filipino food global here on Maputing Cooking, but I need your help to do that. If all of us get behind our food, our cuisine, and spread the word about how great Filipino is, we can really popularize this dish and this amazing culinary tradition. I'm Chris Urbano. It's been a pleasure having you watch. Leave a comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I read every comment. Have a great day. Bye now. I'm going to start off with our onion and sibuyas. Okay, I've just been told I said we're having onion and sibuyas. That could be a fantastic recipe. It sounds delicious. Anyone who speaks Tagalog will probably get the joke. I just said we're having onion and onion in this pan right now. What I mean is we're having bawang and sibuyas, or we're having garlic and onion.